You get me.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Lario. Welcome back to another video. Thank you for joining me. In this tutorial, I'm going to be talking about a whole bunch of different sample gems and different ways that you can flip samples within FL Studio, some tips and tricks. Before I hop into this, here's a quick word from my sponsor, DistroKid. All right, so real quick, I want to talk about DistroKid splits. If you have an artist that you worked with, you can easily split it by clicking on the tab splits, choosing the song that you want to split with that artist or producer, and hit next. It's going to bring up this window right here. You can easily add their email, click add a collaborator, and add the percentage that you are going to be splitting with that artist or producer. Then you can hit review changes, save changes, and confirm your password. Once that artist gets their invite code, they're going to click this link, paste it here, and join splits. Once they enter that invite code and paste it in, their name will appear here, and you're good to go. Now let's get back to the video. I just pulled up some random sample here. One really cool trick that I like to use often is trusty gross beat. So let's throw that into the mixer. Let's throw gross beat on there. We can go into a new preset and go to momentary. And then we can choose half speed. You can also adjust the time knob here. This is the time mix knob. So it's gonna blend in some of that original signal. I'm gonna take this a step further so you can get a way better blend on these two signals that are coming through. So let's go ahead and turn that time mix knob all the way back up again. Go into the mixer, arm it to record, and hit Alt-R to consolidate that into one audio form. In the playlist, you're gonna have a new audio sample that is just the halftime. So we're gonna send that into its own mixer track. Now we can get a really good blend on those two signals, and we have way more control over just using that time mix knob within gross beat. And I'm gonna go ahead and throw an EQ on both of those tracks. I'm gonna mute the gross beat for now. We might need it again to really maybe sauce it up even more. So let's cut the lows, because we're gonna wanna save some room for some kicks and 808s later on. Let's cut some lows on that halftime signal, but not as much as the original signal. Level it out to your liking. In this case, I think I want a little bit more of the halftime signal than I do of the original. Something else that you can do is turn gross beat back on, go into that and choose empty. Then within the gated side, the volume side of gross beat, you could choose a gate here. Kind of like that, actually. Another plugin I like to use in between gross beat and the EQ, I'm gonna use this plugin called Effectrix. It's a great plugin. I've had it for years and years, and I absolutely love it. I go to the vinyl tab, but what I'm gonna do here is put this down to a half note and turn this slope down and this mix knob down. I don't want it too drastic. I want it very subtle, just to add some sound effects to that. And if it sounds too harsh, you can pull back on the mix knob. Let's hear what it sounds like blended. Sometimes I like to use this loop effect or the reverse effect. And that might be too much, but let's adjust the mix knob. Let's bring in the halftime, low pitch. So the next gem is with a stock plugin called Fruity Slicer, and a lot of you may know about Fruity Slicer and use it all the time, but I have a few different tips and tricks after I, chop my sample up with Fruity Slicer, and I'm going to show you that. So I'll go into this sample. We can right click on the audio and just go into Fruity Slicer, and we could choose this high knob right here. We can get some more like larger, longer chops in our sample, and then just create a pattern. So now that we have that little rough sample chop, send it to the mixer. And again, I am gonna hit Alt-R on that channel. So now we just recorded that sample to audio. And then you can mess around with the pitch. Something that I like to do, maybe pitch it down 500 cents to see what that sounds like. Maybe mess around with the stretch it out halftime. So then I like to make two of them. Let's make this one unique, bring it back down to maybe normal pitch, and then maybe go up an octave on the second half. Sampling is a lot of trial and error, and it's just a lot of messing around and making things sound dope by accident. All right, so I have this horn sample in there. Fire horn sample, but I want to chop this up and make it sound more original. Another plugin, and it's not stock, it's called Serato Sample. It's an amazing like sample chopping plugin. I love it. So we're just going to open it up in the channel rack. Then we can drag our sample into Serato Sample. Now you can see it's pretty blank. I'm going to hit Find Samples. What's really cool about this plugin is that you can change the key super easy. So if you want to change it from, G sharp minor, let's just like flip it into E minor. That sounds too high. Let's go a little bit lower. Yep, I'm just going to record that. Make sure it sounds good. And again, if you wanted to, you could flip it. As you can see, I love reflipping samples that I already flipped. It just adds another like crazy dynamic. I always like to see, just in case, just like to see what halftime even does to it and see if it sounds good, because you can take it to another level. Even though we already just made it sound super original by chopping it, you can take it again, flip it again, and give yourself a lot more dynamic within your beat and give yourself a lot more freedom. I'm just throwing in a drum loop right now just to see what it sounds like with some drums. Yeah, so that's going to wrap it up for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Click the link down in my description below to get 7% off DistroKid right now. And make sure to share this with a friend if you get me.